Nier, Automata. Was it worth waiting for, or will it live out its days collecting dust on your shelf as a disappointment? Find out with the Cardinal. What's up, guys? Alright, so, I just finished Nier, Automata, however the hell you want to say it, for the fourth time. Yeah, and I just have to say that, uh, you know, after playing through Zelda this year, I was like, there's just no game that's gonna ever contend for Game of the Year for me. And in a lot of ways, there it still isn't. But fuck, everything that Zelda could have improved upon is what makes Nier great. Um, Storytelling, voice acting, music. I'm gonna be pretty fucking blunt here and say that Nier Automata Automata is one of the best games I've ever played. And actually just one of the best video game experiences ever created. Now, it's kind of hard to explain what that means unless you've played the game. Um, you take control of a uh, cyborg, a fucking android by the name of 2B, who is a human created robot created to fight an alien created robot invasion on Earth after the humans have fled to the moon. Now, this is a third person action heavy RPG in the vein of Metal Gear Rising meets Kingdom Hearts or something like that. If I can, it's really hard to describe this game. But it's semi-open world. Um, it's not like Horizon or Zelda, Breath of the Wild or anything where you can just go fucking anywhere. It has very specific boundaries, and it's really the open world isn't really what makes this game amazing. It's the narrative structure and the just strangely but amazingly satisfying switching from 1 second you're playing a third person action game, the next minute you're playing a Gradius style, fucking shooter, arcade shooter. The next minute you're playing a twin stick shooter, and the next minute you're playing hacking games with 8-bit audio, from, they feel like you're doing something from the Atari era, like Asteroid or something. So it's just really, really interesting video game. But it also does these extremely brave and unique narrative grabs where it starts out with a pretty simplistic story. It's not super simplistic. I mean, it's standard story. Humans created these robots to fight these robots that the aliens created, and there's Earth here, and then we're all fighting, right? Well, that's the reductive version of the storyline. And I mean, this thing, to say it's an onion is like fucking also reductive as hell. I mean, this is an onion, you're peeling back the layers, blah, blah, blah. Like, a lot of games like Skyrim, Breath of the Wild, things like that are very much onion based. You peel back these layers, there's so much underneath. This game is like a pocket universe of onions. It's like if there's an onion within an onion within a fucking onion within an onion, and then when you get to the final onion, you think, okay, well, this is the last onion, and you go, oh shit, there's like 5,000 more onions inside that fucking onion. That's what this game is. And I know you're probably wondering, Robin, you said this fucking game isn't a big open world. It's not. It's not even probably a tenth of the size of Breath of the Wild, or at all. That's not the point. It's not the scope of the game world. It's the scope of the narrative, and that's what's important here. Is so many people are trying to make bigger open worlds. Witcher, Horizon, Zelda. This new Assassin's Creed that just got announced. They're saying it was bigger and bigger and bigger, and all these MMOs that are coming out. It's like they're just striving for bigger and bigger worlds. That's not what we need. Very clearly here, this narrative structure is the onion. It's not the world. Not like in Breath of the Wild, the world is the onion. And it's amazing. It's one of the fucking best games ever made. But this narrative structure is the onion. And so you play as 2B, a female android, who meets up with a male android. And you play this opening section, very epic, made by Platinum Games, also published by Square Enix. You may have heard of them. And it's got this kind of, like I said, very traditional third-person action RPG, but it does switch to those bullet hell sections. Very epic. Holy shit, the soundtrack. It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. One of the best soundtrack I've heard probably since, best soundtrack and narrative I've heard since The Witcher 3, if not. The soundtrack's better than The Witcher 3, but the narrative, I don't know. It's different, but it is the best narrative I have played in a video game since The Witcher 3. And also different in a lot of ways. But here's the thing is it's such a bizarre video game. And the fact that, right, so you play through a campaign, right? You beat it. I beat this campaign. The main takes you about, the main people say 14 hours or so. It took me like 20 or 25 because I like to fuck around. There's a lot of side quests. There's a lot of shit to do. There's a lot of merchants to find. There's a lot of weapons. There's upgrades. You have a pod that floats above you that shoots lasers or bullets or whatever. You can find different pods. You can upgrade your pod. You can equip these things called chips that to your pod that can upgrade your attack or can give you auto heal, which is super awesome when you're in a boss battle. And you like when your life gets to a certain point, you just auto heal if you have the healing components. So you play this first campaign, you get to the end, you beat the game, it's great, it's wonderful. I beat it, I was like, I can just sleep at night, and this is wonderful. It was a great gaming experience. And it says, hey, you can play a new game again. I'm not gonna spoil anything here, but yeah, you play the game again, and it's the same game, but it's fucking different in a ton of ways. Well, you beat it again, and then it's like, hey, game's not really over still. You're like, all right, cool, I'll play it again. This is how good this fucking game is you want to play this game again. And then not until the third playthrough does this game actually fully open up. The third playthrough plays as almost a sequel to its own game. That's how fucking crazy this game is. It doesn't even get to the fucking point until the third fucking time you play it. That's crazy shit. And I love it too, you know what I mean? Because, like I said, on its own, you can play the first playthrough, and it's got a great beginning, a great ending, and it's done. You can just be done with it and sell it. If you want. You shouldn't, because what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, it doesn't get, like, the third playthrough is the best part of the game. And it's insane. And there's 26 endings to this game. One for every letter of the alphabet. So I've gotten 5 of them, I believe, 5 or 6. And all I want to do is play it more. Like, I'm like, fuck, I need to go back. I need to play Horizon. I need to play Persona. And I just, like, all I want to do is play this game because the gameplay is so satisfying. And what it is, Yoko Taro. Yoko? Yoko Taro? Yoka Tara. I don't know, whatever his name is. He's the guy who created the game. He made the original Nier on Xbox 360. It was met to some mixed reception. The story apparently was really good. Characterization and everything was really good, but the gameplay left something to be desired. Now, I've never actually played the first one, which also brings me to that point. You don't have to play the first one, play this one, obviously. Now, the point of that is that game sits at like a 60 something on Metacritic, whereas Nier Automata, however you want to fucking say it, sits in an 88. I think that's even like, I think the people who scored that game didn't play the full experience. You need to play this game 3 times through before you can actually score this game. In my opinion, as a critic, you can't score it until you played it through 3 times, because that's the nature of this game. There's so many just backwards shit that I don't even know how they got the funding for this game. There's so much behind the curtain here. It blows my fucking mind. There's those games, like you finish BioShock or whatever, and it's like, okay, you unlocked the developer commentary. Cool. And you can listen to that. This game's developer commentary is like an entire fucking new game. If that makes any goddamn sense. And it won't. Nothing in this game makes sense, but it actually all makes a lot of sense. And that's as deep as I can go here. But just fucking play Nier Automata, whatever the hell it's called. If you have a PlayStation 4, go to your local game retailer and buy this goddamn game, because it is one of the most engaging, tragic, wonderful, horrifying, and beautiful experiences in gaming I have had in years. So, fucking 2 thumbs up. I'm not even gonna give it a score because I can't. I'm done with that shit. This game gets a fucking happy face out of a love face. So you heard it here. Cardinal loves Nier Automata. Good night.